Big Drive Energy Wednesday edition coming at you live Wednesday morning.
Major edition.
Major moves being made this week at the PGA Championship. The redheaded stepchild of majors, but a major nonetheless. If you're tuning into this show right now and getting our picks, getting our preview of the 2024 PGA Championship at Valhalla, make sure you tune in to us on Sunday. Sunday afternoon, we'll be live recapping everything for you, the last couple holes as the guys come down the stretch. Hopefully one of the guys on our Big Bet Energy card presented by Bet365. But either way, all we're hoping for is a close one, right? Is that, like, we've kind of been through this a ton. We've kind of gotten stuck. Scheffler ran away with the Masters this year in typical boring, I'm the best player ever fashion. I'm the best player of right now fashion. I should correct myself. But just hoping for a close finish to this major because there's nothing more electric than every shot mattering coming down the stretch. And one of the tournaments that sticks in my mind is the 2022 PGA Championship still, when Justin Thomas won. I was on him, so that was a electric finish. But Mito Pereira had the horrible shot and then had the putt. Will Zalatoris was in it. It was like three guys could have won it on the 72nd hole. That's what we need. That's the energy we need this week.
1,000%. That was the last time Justin Thomas played well.
Yeah,
pretty much.
That's kind of fair. All right, where do you want to start? Should we talk about Valhalla?
Yeah, well, we can cover the golf course first. I always like to do weather. Weatherman Mitch here, coming at you. Louisville, Kentucky. So let's talk about this for just a second. When is it Louisville and when is it Louisville?
I think it has to be. It's always Louisville unless it's designated Louisville.
Is it like a southern thing? Because I feel like there's a lot of villes in like South Carolina, Georgia, Kentucky. Okay, take a step further. Is Kentucky southern?
Oh yeah, it's actually,
it's like on the edge of the South. So if I'm remembering correctly, it's below Tennessee. I think it connects to West Virginia.
We're looking it up here.
Perfect. Let's get our shit straight like we always do.
So Kentucky, wow, it's actually not.
It's above Tennessee.
We are just as latitude the same. We have the same latitude in Denver as
Kentucky.
Frankfort, Kentucky about.
That's pretty wild. Yeah, so it's connected to Indiana, Ohio. It's kind of in no man's land.
Kentucky is connected to Illinois.
Yeah, that's
fucking crazy. Okay, it is no longer as south as I thought it was.
See, like right off the bat, I said it's south of Tennessee. Are you familiar with Kentucky at all?
Also, can I say, so first of all, for those listening that aren't from Colorado, we're from Colorado. Welcome. But Louisville, people are thinking you're crazy. We actually have a town in Colorado called Louisville. Like, it's spelled the same, but just giving some context there, number one.
Totally.
Number two, can I say that, yes, we are getting the BMW this year. Great. How do places like Louisville, Kentucky get majors and we can't get dick up here?
It might be,
and I know it's the altitude. I get it.
Might be that horse money. It's a big horse town. Like, that I feel like that has some pull. And Valhalla is a great course. But Marissa, I was asking your opinion on Kentucky, so let's hear it.
I've never been. I've not really had an interest to go either.
I don't blame you. I've heard it's really pretty. Like, it's very green and wooded and treed. But I would honestly say it's got to be top 5 most irrelevant states in America.
I've been all over the country, so I've only missed 4 states.
Okay.
Like, that I haven't visited. All of them are southern states.
I think
I'm in the same boat. The only states I haven't been to are Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, Kentucky, West Virginia, and like Delaware. And like that's it.
Yeah, so your first 4 were the ones that I haven't been to.
And Kentucky's just kind of one of those that it's like, what's the point? Unless you're a big horse racing fan. Like, it is that and maybe some college basketball / football with Louisville being there. But I would like to think, let's rapid fire 3 most irrelevant states in America. Go.
Idaho.
I think Idaho's great.
Kansas. and Alabama.
Okay. I'd say West Virginia, Kentucky, Mississippi.
Just a hater on the southern states.
Marissa? Dude, okay, give me any sort of reason why West Virginia is relevant.
I'm not saying it
Idaho's
is.
got mountains. Idaho provides a lot. They're a booming economy right now.
Yeah, you also didn't really.
West Virginia's just got a bunch of hillbillies.
Let's talk about
the
most irrelevant state in the entire world, Wyoming.
I was gonna say Wyoming.
Yeah,
you guys
that
missed
is
Wyoming.
Completely irrelevant. Yes, they've got
Jackson Hole.
Yes, it's an incredible area.
Well, and
one of the PGA pros that is playing in the PGA Championship is the director of golf at Shooting Star in Jackson Hole.
What a name!
Yeah, that's one of the coolest names. And I mean, they have like Moonlit Basin, they have Shooting Star, they have all these like sick fucking places up in Jackson.
I thought Moonlight Basin was in Montana.
Well, so it's so close because Jackson's very northwest Wyoming, and Montana, like they're very, very close. That's why in Yellowstone they can like drive across the border because it's that close. I think it's very close to also, is it Utah on the west? Or yeah, it's Utah. So they can like touch Utah, touch Montana, kind of touch Idaho. But your three most irrelevant.
I would say Wyoming.
Okay.
To be honest, even though I went to college there and I lived there for a short period of time, New Mexico.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Maine was fine. Rhode Island.
Rhode Island. It's just tiny. It's irrelevant. I actually haven't been to Rhode Island, quote unquote, but I've been all around there. I just haven't gone on the one fucking road that takes you into Rhode Island. And I think it's only like 30 minutes from Boston. Because remember when we were in Boston, we wanted to like just drive down so we could say we went to Rhode Island. We didn't do it, but those are all good ones. Like Delaware is very irrelevant. New Hampshire, I would say, is pretty irrelevant. Louisiana, Alabama, it's the exact same thing. But New Mexico and Wyoming and Kansas, Arkansas, very irrelevant. Yeah. Oklahoma, irrelevant. Another one of the PGA pros that qualified for the PGA Championship, dropping fun facts. He is the head pro at Cedar Ridge, where we went and watched that Live Tour event.
Oh, really?
Yeah. His dad was the pro there for 40 years, and now he's the director of instruction there. Pretty cool. And also, fun fact, his mom went into labor when she was watching his dad play golf in New Mexico. So, fun facts from the PGA. They did like a little spotlight. So I highlighted some of the qualifiers from the actual PGA, but we'll get into that. So let's go weather.
Yeah.
Let's start with the weather.
Give us your weather report.
So
now reporting the weather. Mitchell Smith here with your 4-day forecast in Louisville, Kentucky.
Hey y'all. So Thursday it's going to be 79 sunny. Friday we got 55% chance of precipitation, high 77. Saturday 50% chance of rain, 77, and Sunday a nice balmy 83. So I think it's going to be wet, which is going to definitely play into the longer players' hands because like we talked about on the last episode, this is one of the longest major championship courses. It's in a very humid, dank state of Kentucky.
Dank.
It is dank. It's
dank. Humid, dank, irrelevant Kentucky.
Yeah, I mean that's what it is. You can see the air. Like it's that thick. You can just reach out and touch it. But I really think that when we get to my Big Bet Energy card, it will reflect how I feel about who's going to win here. Because if it's wet and they're not getting roll in the fairway, and the PGA Championship has been known to generally have the easiest setup of the majors because the Masters, Augusta, it's unique in itself. The U.S. Open is known as, the biggest challenge. And then you have the weather elements to deal with at the Open Championship. Aren't you proud of me? I've called it the Open Championship. I fucked that up for years. It's still the British Open to me. But the Open Championship. So the PGA is generally where they go the lowest, where they shoot the lowest scores. And if it's soft, it's definitely going to be some low scores. So I really see a dude that's going to bomb it. And we'll get into that in a little bit. But that's your weather forecast.
Weather forecast from Mitchell Smith. Thank you for that. Round of applause for that.
Thank you.
Absolutely incredible stuff. All right, so Valhalla is, like you talked about, one of the longest. So it is the third longest course on tour this year with the third smallest greens.
That's crazy.
So when you think about previewing it and talking about what wins here, of course, being long helps. And it's a matter of, I think personally, when you look at PGA Tour players in general and the LIV players that are coming over and the PGA section guys, like the actual professional golfers of America guys playing in this, I think there's
your brethren,
my brethren in Christ. I think everyone's long, but now it's like, who's longer?
Who's really long?
Like who's really long? Yeah, because if you're not, there's going to be some guys out there that are averaging 270 off the tee this week, 280, and they're going to have relatively no chance unless they're playing a Scotty Scheffler approach level game, which Michael Block probably could do that, right? If he
was just distance. Rory's length, he would win this week for sure. No, I agree. I think that length is really going to be a premium this week. And I actually went hole by hole through the layout on the website, and there's a lot of dog legs. There's quite a few open holes, but then there's some very there's going to be dog legs where you're going to see some of these longer dudes. Like I think it was hole number 6 where it is pretty wild. So it's called the long shot. So it's similar to like number 7 at Pebble Beach, where you have to basically lay up in this area, and then you can hit it like 295 to the edge. It's a 495 yard par 4. You hit 295 to the edge, and then you still have 200 yards in. I could see Bryson DeChambeau aiming right over those trees and taking a crazy line and ending up with 145, 155 yards in. So I think there is going to be some lines out here that some dudes can take that others can't, and that will be a deciding factor. And plus, I think it helps because Bryson, the fuck is going on out there? Someone is really loving their horn today.
Somebody parked next to Marissa.
Yeah, no shit. But there is some trees off the tee, similar to like Augusta, where there was high trees where some guys, if you didn't get it up quick enough, couldn't take that line. But I think a few of the longer dudes are going to be able to cut some of these corners on these dog legs and shorten this golf course. And it's really going to just make it more gettable. I mean, today somebody tweeted that Max Homa and Justin Thomas both played a practice round and said a lot of the guys are hitting driver in the same spot and a lot of guys have the same clubs in. So it's going to be kind of a ball striking competition is what it sounds like.
Yeah, which we'll get to our picks at the very end, of course, but that is where I went with my guys.
Yeah.
And so let's talk about, well, first let me get a few things out about Valhalla. So it is now, after hosting this major, it is now hosted the most majors of any modern built course. Modern is defined by 1960 or later.
Oh, wow.
So it was tied with Whistling Straits, and now at 3. Now after this week, it'll host its 4th major. But they just redid in 2021. They redid the fairways. So
they made them zoysia grass, correct?
Yes,
which is like a creeping.
Exactly. So one of the things with that is it makes the rough super unpredictable, and actually the fairways technically, weather, your great weather report with outstanding of rain, it makes it roll further.
Yeah.
So just like you talked about, the long guys are getting even longer, cutting corners. And did you see? Quick side note: did you see last week the uproar? Pardon the pun. For Rory hitting like a gap wedge into a 523 yard hole because they're like, they roll the ball back. This shouldn't be happening. And it's like, dude, it was a dog leg.
Yeah.
Cut the corner, downhill.
I mean, Xander Schauffele hit 4-iron from 280 to like 10 feet, which is nuts. Like, but it's not the golf ball. Like, there's 0.001% of people in the world that would ever think about grabbing anything but the longest club in their bag from 280. And Xander does like to hit that trap hook. That's why he chokes. That's why he's too hang back on the right foot, too much side bend, gets caught on the back foot, hits pushes, hits big hooks. So that's why he's not really a winner. but he can hit it very far that way. So that's what he's always been known for, really strong grip, strong club face, turns a 4-iron basically into a 3-wood. But yeah, Rory's going to hit it long. He's going to drive it really well. That's what's really going to give him a chance. Can we also talk about some other happenings in Rory's life, or are you done with Valhalla here?
One more thing regarding the golf course. So they also removed all of the bent grass in between the fairways and most of the fairway bunkers.
Okay.
So balls go in like they're not going to
run.
You're not going to get balls that stop in between a bunker and the fairway because of rough. Like it's going to go straight in there, and that's going to, put more of a premium on not only driving distance, but driving accuracy. Because if you're hitting out of fairway bunkers all the time, it's kind of got that Whistling Straits-y vibe where there's not as many bunkers. Obviously, Whistling Straits has like thousands, but
waste bunkers.
It's a matter of like these guys having to be accurate off the tee while being long now is everybody. The standard. So now you have to be accurate off the tee as well, because the ball is just going to roll straight into some of these fairway bunkers.
Yeah, from the videos I saw, the greenside rough does look pretty tough. And somebody posed a question of like, would you prefer tight lies around greens to like basically Augusta, where there's really no rough, but these guys are having to hit like really quality pitches to short-sided flags off of really tight lies? Or would you rather have a ball that can kind of sit up in the rough and you're kind of taking your chances reading that lie?
Yeah, well, and that's the unpredictability of that new grass. Like it's not as...
I was asking you a question, but what do you prefer? Do you like watching dudes have to hit like really precise pitches, or do you like them just gouging it out of the really long rough?
Oh, I like the gouging it out of the long rough. Like I like a ball that looks like borderline under the ground.
Yeah.
Like, was it Wyndham at the U.S. Open? What, the very first hole of Sunday? I remember because I was not cheering against him, but I was wanting the tournament to be a little closer. So he had such a lead at that point. I was like, I want him to make some bogeys, and his ball just missed the fairway, and it was buried, and then he hits it like 3 feet. So it was kind of just over from that moment. But
that's another place too where the longer hitters, like Wyndham Clark, digging it out of that rough. There's a lot of guys that don't have that kind of speed to dig it out of thick rough like that too.
Yeah, it takes a lot of obviously downward motion, quick club head speed, and then just pure power. Like power is becoming the length and the power and the strength of golfers is becoming a huge thing, because all they're trying to do is lengthen the golf courses. So these guys are going to have to make. There's going to be some swings where you're like, oh, good God. Like,
I would imagine Kevin Kisner's not in the field this week, but I'm sure if they asked him, he's like, yeah, I have no chance. Like anybody that plays like Kevin Kisner. And maybe the one benefit the shorter players do have is on a few of these holes, everybody's forced to lay up to the same spot. So, everybody's got 200 yards in. Those guys might be hitting 6-iron or 7-iron. You might be hitting 5-iron or 4-iron. So then it just kind of comes down to a ball striking contest. Like you got to hit your mid irons well, got to hit the short irons well. And that kind of does play into Rory's hands because he has struggled more. I would say he's a better long iron player relative to the field than he is a short iron and wedge player. So if everybody's hitting mid irons in, then he's going to have a shot come Sunday.
Yeah, the Scotty Schefflers and the Rorys are going to be the guys that kind of
Ludwig Aberg
that rise to the top. His knee injury worries me.
Is he? I didn't know he was hurt.
He withdrew from his last event.
You hurt or you injured, buddy?
I think he's just hurt, not injured.
So you think he's going to be okay?
I think he's going to play.
Well,
but
yeah.
The injury worries me in terms of like
if he withdraws like 9 holes in, I might have to blacklist him.
Oh,
that's grounds for a blacklisting.
The blacklist, in case you guys didn't know, is from our betting card, and we do all of our betting with Bet365. All of our golf betting is done through this amazing app. I love logging into there and just seeing odds each week because there's golf. They've always got some great boosts for you too. One of my picks, which we will get to at the end, has a boosted proposition, I should say. And then another one of my picks, they always give us a 30% profit boost every single week on golf betting. Use that code ALLCITY in all caps when you sign up for Bet365, and you're getting to choose between 2 different offers of a first bet safety net of $1,000, meaning you can bet up to $1,000. If that bet hits, you just doubled your money. If it doesn't hit, you get to try it again with the same amount of money as a free bet. Basically like getting a rebound in basketball, putting it right back up. Or you're betting $5 to get $150 in bonus bets when you sign up with that code ALLCITY in all caps. They also have a great, if you're not able to watch golf this weekend, they have the live tracker on Bet365. So place your bets, and then you can track every drive, iron, and putt from your favorite player in real time with shot-by-shot data and interactive course visualizations all within the app. You don't have to go to the PGA Tour app and watch it fail and be horrible. Download the Bet365 app and use that code ALLCITY when you sign up. Must be 21 plus and physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you're someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-GAMBLER will not give you free picks, unfortunately. And one thing we'll be consuming a ton this weekend, major weekends are kind of a on the couch type of weekend. I will be consuming a ton of Coors Lights this weekend. Last night Monday during the Avs game, unfortunately I was drowning my sorrows. I needed a moment to chill in a little bit of Coors Light. I was drinking something else. It wasn't going well. So I was like, all right, I'm switching to the beer. I'm switching to Coors Light. Still didn't go well. Not Coors Light's fault, but
you enjoyed yourself.
I tried to switch up the mojo. It was definitely delicious. Coors Light is the beer you reach for when you need to chill. Also the best beer for the golf course. We've said it time and time again. Those perfect little mini cans with the twist off. They don't get your cart dirty.
Those are the big cans.
Well, but yeah, big. I mean, they're not like
the wide.
They're not
twist
like
off. Those are the bomb.
Last night I was drinking the tall boys.
Oh yeah, those are the massive ones.
Yeah, so Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged. When it's time for a refresh, open a Coors Light. It's mountain cold refreshment, crisp and refreshing as the Colorado Rockies. When it's time to chill, watch golf, sit on the couch all weekend, Coors Light is the beer I always reach for. So when you want to hit reset, grab the beer that is made to chill. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door with Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/DNVR. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Looking at that Sunday forecast in the sun, these guys are going to need their Shady Rays. They're going to need to put their Shady Rays on for this golf tournament. You use the code AC35 and you're getting the best deal of the season with 35% off polarized sunglasses. If you play golf and you haven't gotten into the polarized sunglasses game, you need to now. It changes the way you look at greens. You're able to read them way better. And Shady Rays has just rolled out their new product, the Green Wolf golf glasses. We've got some coming. Can't wait to try them out. I'm sure we'll see some content with those when we get them. But Shady Rays is the only pair of glasses I wear. Whenever you see me on the YouTube with the sunglasses on, these are always my favorite pair of Shady Rays. There's great like gray wood grain. What would you call that?
Like a wood grainy type of in the frames. They just look fantastic.
Yeah, and there's something that fit my head perfectly. Like I'll put on some sunglasses from other unnamed brands, and it's like up on my nose. You know, I got a big nose. I got a skinny head. Like I just got a lot of issues.
They just sit really nice.
But Shady Rays just fit me perfectly. And if you ever go missing or take an unexpected hit, don't sweat it because they have an insane protection program on all their eyewear. Every pair is backed by lost or broken replacements. Also, if you don't love your shades, you can exchange them for a new pair or return for worry-free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop. Their team always has your back. So once again, exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out this deal of 35% off. Head to shadyrays.com. Use the code AC, like ALLCITY, 35 for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people.
It's a lot of people.
All right, Rory McIlroy. Let's dive into, we talked a little bit about his chances on Monday, but let's dive into some new findings and
some personal news
and how we feel those chances enhance his ability to win back-to-back weeks and win the PGA Championship at a place that he won. You'll see if you're on the YouTube, check it out, youtube.com, Big Drive Energy Golf. But our thumbnail is Rory from 2014 holding the trophy and Brooks from last year. So one of them could go back-to-back in the terms of Rory winning it at Valhalla, also going back-to-back on the PGA Tour. Brooks Koepka going back-to-back on the PGA Tour.
The PGA Championship.
Hear me out. Back-to-back on the LIV Tour and PGA Tour, and back-to-back on the PGA Championship to the PGA Championship. So both of these guys can go back-to-back in 2 separate ways. Back-to-back.
That's a lot of back-to-backs. It's a lot at stake here. Yeah, so Rory filed for a divorce this morning. Basically, Spencer, I don't know why he's beating around the bush, but so Rory, freshly single. Well, who knows how long those proceedings take, but odd timing about it. I don't really know. Obviously, it's kind of a weird thing. And the odd thing is, so is Rory the toxic one because he broke off the engagement with Caroline Wozniacki? Now he filed for divorce. So is it time to look in the mirror for Rory McIlroy?
Do you think just the whole what he's dealt with in his work life, if you call it, the PGA Tour, the last couple of years has just taken a toll? I mean, he talked about it a little bit on Full Swing. Like, do you think that is part of this, or do you think this is just like? Don't get me wrong, celebrities are still people. Obviously, they're definitely and we forget that. But I think their lifestyles make it so much harder to have like a normal relationship.
Oh, absolutely. And yeah, I mean, when you're the biggest, most talked about star in golf, quote unquote, that wants to be the face of, the world golf, all of this, the World Golf Tour, the indoor league, or whatever they are calling that fucking tent city. And
PGL.
Yeah, whatever. And the PGA Tour, and now you're on the board of trying to get the PGA Tour and the Live Tour together. And I honestly just think, who has time for a family when you're trying to win majors? Like that, it was a joke, but you get what I'm saying. Like, I was just making a joke. But I mean, he has kids and stuff now, so that kind of adds.
Little Poppy.
Yeah. Oh, poor little Poppy. She's gonna have so much fucking money, it won't matter. This will be interesting though to see, like, the whole. If you look at Tiger similarities with Elin and the public breakup, this and that, it'll be interesting to see where his wife rebounds, where we see her go down the road. But honestly, like, what it will do for his success, because there is guys that play better married, and then there's guys that play better not married. Now, facts are facts here. Rory's won 4 majors, not married, 0 majors, married. So material change. Like, this could be his best chance at winning a major until he meets somebody new. And then, how wild would that be to be like Rory McIlroy and just be a bachelor? Like, I feel like you rarely see guys like that. He's in his mid-30s. He might move to Scottsdale because that is just the perfect place for freshly divorced people looking to get down, like with all the fake lips and the Botox and all that shit. He might just move to Greyhawk or fucking somewhere down in Scottsdale because that is just the prime hub for it. But just an odd situation to come down at this time. He just won a big PGA Tour event, relatively speaking. And now a week before a major, like, ultimately in the short term, I think this distracts him more, unless there was something going on behind the scenes that we were unaware of that is going to free him up at this point. But ultimately, I think it's more of a distraction than it is a good thing. Like, if he was a couple months removed from this divorce, then whatever. But now he's in the thick of it. Like, he's going to have his lawyer billing him while he's out on the golf course. That's never a fun time.
No, but is there a divorce bump?
I don't think, I think there's
I feel like golf, there's always a baby bump in sports. You have a kid, which Scotty Scheffler.
Yeah.
This is his maiden voyage as a dad. First tournament as a dad.
Maiden voyage.
He could win 100% of the tournaments when he's a dad if he wins this week.
He could. At that point, he should retire.
I feel like there is a baby bump in certain sports, but golf is the one that I feel like, because it's so individualized, that could, like imagine, let's kind of relate it to Scotty Scheffler. He is not sleeping as well this week. That's just a pure fact. Like, these things could hinder him.
Unless they have a nanny.
Well, they probably do, but still, I mean, if you're any sort of a non-POS dad, you're hanging out with your kid the first couple weeks that he's born, feeding him in the middle of the night,
at least a couple weeks,
doing your job,
your due diligence as a dad.
And the way Scotty is, that he's doing that.
He's family first. I'm surprised he hasn't withdrawn. He might just retire now that he is a kid. Well, he just loves family time that much.
I think he's I mean, this will be the true test of like him coming out and playing after not playing for a couple weeks and seeing what like his game, like he's still going to be dominant.
Yeah,
That's the
he's
crazy
a machine.
thing.
I long story short, I don't think there's a divorce bump. Like I said, I think it's going to decrease Rory's chances because he's got a lot of distractions at this point going on off the course. And I'm not sure, this could all be a coincidence, but Brooks Koepka, not sure if it was a dig at Rory or what the story was, but the divorce news broke. And then about an hour ago, Brooks Koepka tweets or posts a picture of his wife in a bathing suit and compliments her on her hard work. Let's read the caption here. I mean, if you want to put this on the, she's in a bathing suit. Do I need to put it in the Slack, I assume? Oh, geez, that's going to take me a minute. But he said, so proud of you, Jenna Sims. Amazing to see what hard work can do. Love you. I love you. He even threw in the eye. That's how you know it's serious. I'm going to send this to Spencer so he can figure that out because I can't hunt it down currently. But yeah, it's great viewing. Like, how do celebrities have kids and then just go back to like looking like they didn't have a kid? Is that just money? Is it tummy tuck? But like legit doesn't look like she had a kid, which is insane. Credit to her. But yeah, the money definitely helps. Spencer, did you receive it? I sent it to you on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
But anywho, I feel like a little bit of a shot at Rory McIlroy with Brooks Koepka, maybe just digging the knife in a little bit, filing for a divorce. But, he's playing the long game because you never know. Brooks maybe getting a divorce down the road. I'm not wishing that upon anybody, but it happens frequently, especially with high profile people. And Rory might have one in the chamber. I'd love to see a clapback, a little callback 5 years later, like Rory's with somebody new. He posts it when Brooks gets divorced, I feel like that's a real possibility. Should we get to once that picture's popped up, we'll just show it. Like you can literally cut me off and just put that picture on the broadcast because
I won't hate seeing this at any
yeah,
point
exactly.
In time.
You just cut me off mid-sentence. But let's talk about a few of the PGA professionals that are in the field this week. I made some notes, some notable players that are in the field because this is kind of one of the cool events where Brooks gets to look at all these guys and be like, none of them will be competing. So automatically wipe 21 dudes off of out of the field for competition purposes. But honestly, like for a PGA pro to have this experience to get to play in a major, pretty sick stuff. Like very cool. Love the experience for them. But I'm going to run through a few. So there's 21 PGA pros. 15 have participated previously. And it just went in alphabetical order. So Ben Poland is oh, yes. I mean, look at that. Wow. What a treat. If you're not on the YouTube, this would be the time.
If you don't watch our show on YouTube, you should definitely now.
If that's what you prefer, I would recommend it. What do you think, Marissa? What do you think of that? Yeah, it's very impressive. Good for her. Yeah, for sure. Some good money was invested into that. Oh no, absolutely. I agree. What are you smiling about, Spencer?
That's some plast-live surgery.
Okay. Plastic. Was that a play on words that just went poorly for you?
Yeah, I was trying to workshop it quickly.
We could tell it
went. A live-inspired body.
Okay. Yes, a body inspired by live. Okay. PGA pros, total turn. So Ben Poland was the dude that I had mentioned earlier. He is at Shooting Star of Jackson Hole Club. Super sick. 4th time out of the Rocky Mountain section playing in this event. Experienced veteran. Michael Block. He's notable. Did
you see his Instagram post? I sent it to you?
No, so which one?
He was doing a check-in from the PGA Championship, and he was like selfieing a video. And he's like, just a normal week, just another. He did shoot the course record at Valhalla in a practice round,
tied course record.
Yeah, so he's co-holder of the course record at Valhalla.
Co-holder,
but he basically was doing a selfie video, and when he was doing the 360, it was showing the range behind him at first, and then it goes to showing the stands behind the range, and his face is on it. Like his face is down there below. Like,
so he's just getting exactly
such a folk hero right now.
Yeah, he is getting exactly what he wants. I hope it gets to his head. I hope he shoots 90 both days. Like I am so done. I would like to hear from another PGA pro, making the cut, kind of on their rise. What?
We'll get into pairings in a little bit, but he is the first one off the golf course tomorrow or Thursday. Excuse me, tomorrow.
Love that
when
for
you're
him.
listening to this Thursday morning. He's the first one off the golf course.
I hope he hits his first tee shot into the fucking driving range.
I wonder if they did that purposely, like to get people out early.
Maybe
because he is a block star.
Oh my God! Did you just come up with that, or was that?
I came up with that. I came up with that.
Oh,
that one off the cuff was good.
That one hurt. That was good though. He
in the fans' eyes,
I don't get the allure. What is the allure? He's just a douchebag that's not as good at golf as all the other PGA Tour players. He's basically the dude that like sitting around the bar. This would be me. Be like, if things just would have turned out differently for me, I'd be out there right now. Like, there's just a few different things happen, few things go my way, I'd be out there. That's just the vibe he gives off. That's maybe why I hate him. And it's just everything we talked about it on Monday, like at what point, or maybe it was last week, at what point do you go from like liking a dude because nobody else likes him to like not liking him because everybody else did I say that correctly?
Yeah, he's becoming like mainstream music, and you want to not like mainstream music.
Exactly. Like, I'm not going to be that guy that was like, I was following Michael Block when he was playing in his local section PGA bullshit out in California. Like, nobody's like that, but now he's a full-on mainstream name, so I don't even need to mention him. Let's move it along. Preston Cole, he's an assistant pro at Quail Hollow, where they just had the Wells Fargo last week. His wife also works at Quail Hollow, ran all the merchandise for the Wells Fargo. So his wife's like the merchandiser at Quail Hollow. He's the assistant pro. Sounds like a pretty sweet setup.
Damn, they had a busy ass week, and then they turn around and head to Kentucky, and he plays in this event. That's kind of cool, but you got to imagine his chances aren't very good after working a week like that. Being an assistant pro. Being an assistant pro at I thought that was Marissa shrieking. Being an assistant pro at a course holding a signature PGA Tour event, and then he's probably working 60, 70 hours a week.
Yeah, but
you think he was getting any range time in at Quail Hollow last week?
I mean, he qualified. They knew he qualified for this event. That I feel like that is the cooler thing about like these bigger clubs, like that are somewhat prestigious, is they care about your game and they want you to be good and like represent the club. You know what I mean? So I would actually say that he wasn't in there folding shirts. He was probably out on the driving range getting ready for this shit. Also very cool. So last year he won the PGA Assistants Championship. He holed out for eagle on 18 to walk off win it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. From 124, he hit wedge in, hold it out to walk off winner. I think this is his first appearance. So maybe he qualified last year for this through last year's. Matt Dobbins. I feel like I've heard this name before. He's making his sixth PGA Championship appearance. So kind of a mainstay for the PGA pros. He's the head pro at Meadowbrook in Jericho, New York, which I think is somewhere on Long Island. Not super familiar. But this is just guys being dudes, just golfers being dipshits. He swings it right-handed and putts it left-handed.
Love that. That's my guy.
That is the ultimate tinker. Like, you've gone through literally everything. And so you just switch hands. Like, that's bottom of the barrel.
Switching back and forth every hole.
You're grasping for straws at that point if you're putting left-handed. And they asked him why he did it, and he said, I wasn't making enough putts right-handed.
Hey,
so that's
feel that.
Yeah. Spencer, relatable for Spencer. Tracy Phillips, who I mentioned earlier, director of instruction at Cedar Ridge in Tulsa. His dad was head pro for 40 years. Mom went into labor watching his dad play golf. Pretty cool. Just been golfing since, he was out of the womb. And then Andrew Svoboda. Do you remember that name?
It rings a bell.
Yeah, I was shocked. He never won on the PGA Tour. He played on the PGA Tour for multiple years. He won 3 times on the Korn Ferry Tour. He played in 5 U.S. Opens, but this is his first PGA Championship, which is kind of wild. Like, how do you play in 5 U.S. Opens and at no point do you qualify for a PGA Championship? I guess he's PGA, which I don't know. Like, so he was at a pretty prestigious course in Connecticut, because I was actually, when I was doing all my sales stuff for Pins and Aces, I was like looking at the directory of all the pros and everything. And at one of the courses in Connecticut, I was like, Andrew Svoboda, like, I know that name. And he was the director of golf there, which has got to be kind of cool to like transition. Like, you're kind of, I wouldn't call him a famous golfer, but then you go to like a club and everybody's like, oh my God, this guy's the man. So he's actually now the head pro at Butler National out in Chicago, which is a place that I would love to go play at some point. I've heard that was the place that Vince India talked about that he's a member at, men's only club. Sorry, Marissa, out in Chicago. I know you'd be itching to go play there. It's actually like very, very hard golf course. But yeah, this being his first PGA Championship, I thought was odd. But he's like a legit player. So, and those are all kind of the notable PGA pros that I had written down. Like I said, 21 in the field. We'll see how many make the cut. It's usually a little rough for them, but great experience for a PGA pro.
Yeah. So my favorite name of PGA pros, Wyatt Worthington II.
That he popped out of the womb built to be a PGA pro.
Yeah, so he is PGA classification A20 sales representative at Eastside Golf Club, which is a golf manufacturer. This is his 4th PGA Championship. He played in 2016.
He's California, right?
No, he's he works in, his home club is in New York. His PGA section is the Southwest section. He went to Methodist.
Is Eastside Golf the company that Serbo works for now?
I don't know.
I think, is that the distributor that bought?
It says he's a golf manufacturing sales representative at Eastside Golf. But he's earned, so he played in 2023 at Oak Hill, 2022 at Southern Hills, and 2016 at Baltusrol. And his start in the 2016 PGA Championship made him the 2nd African-American PGA of America golf professional to earn a PGA Championship berth since 1990, Tom Woodard of Denver, Colorado, who played in the 91 PGA Championship.
Wowza. He
became the first African-American in 2016 to win a PGA Tournament Series event at PGA Golf Club in Port St. Lucie. So shout out to Wyatt Worthington II. I'm going to be watching him closely because that's just a very prestigious name.
Yeah, that is very country club type of name. Should we get to our betting card? What else we got?
Let's get to some pairings.
Oh yes, pairings.
Let's talk pairings because there's some interesting ones. They kind of stacked the field. That's hilarious. But there's some pairings out there that I find quite interesting. Oh man.
So I have them pulled up as well. It looks like a lot of the big names are getting sent off number 10. Let's make
on Thursday.
Yes,
so
on Thursday.
First guys off the golf course on number 1, Michael Block, Luke Donald, and Sean McKeel.
Sean McKeel.
I was gonna say McKeel, and then I thought you were gonna roast me.
No.
One of my favorite pairings, we've got Taylor Gooch, Cam Davis, and Harris English. Seem like some interesting dudes. Jason Day, Shane Lowry, and Nikolai Højgaard. That's a fun pairing.
That'd be a good one. We got Ludwig Aberg, Xander Schauffele, Justin Thomas, 753 off of 10. So what? Let's figure this out real quick. Kentucky's got to be Eastern time zone.
I would think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So 753 will be Eastern. So that would mean 553 here. That is fucking early.
Yeah, the first tee time Blockstar's out at 5:15 a.m. our time, Mountain Time.
Good. I don't want to watch that shit anyway. I will be in New Jersey for the first round. And
this is another interesting one. Colin Morikawa, Matt Fitzpatrick with Phil Mickelson. So he's playing with, because he's won a PGA, Kiwa, and then he's playing with Colin Morikawa, who also won a PGA the year right before him. And then Matt Fitzpatrick, who's won a U.S. Open, but
defending U.S. Open champ, correct? Or was that just last year? Or was that 2 years ago?
I think it was 2 years ago.
Okay.
Ricky Fowler, John Rahm, Cam Young. That's a fan favorite threesome there.
Cam Smith, Hideki Matsuyama, Victor Hovland, 826 off number 10. It's a good one.
Wyndham Clark, Brian Harmon, and Scotty Scheffler.
Ooh.
So that's literally reigning Masters champion, reigning U.S. Open champion, and reigning Open Championship champion.
Wow.
So
that's a stacked pairing.
Yeah, they stacked that one up.
Akshay Bhatia, Tommy Fleetwood, Bryson DeChambeau. Great pairing. That'll be nice.
Tony Finau, Tyrrell Hatton, Sahith Theegala in one pairing. I love that.
That'll be a good one. Tiger Woods is playing with Adam Scott, Keegan Bradley at 804.
Real quick, what's your prediction for this week for him?
Tiger?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's always excelled most with the irons. He's got to drive it relatively accurately, but I think he'll make the cut and similar to the Masters, kind of be one of the lower finishers, but I think he will make the cut.
How insane is it to think that Tiger won the PGA Tour, the PGA Championship at Valhalla 24 years ago?
Holy
shit. We think Rory's win in 2014 was a long time ago. This man,
I was 4 years old, 5 years old.
I was a fresh 6-year-old. No clue what was going on, and Tiger's just winning at Valhalla.
Yeah, talk about longevity. And then there's some complete fucking...
Justin Thomas, home game for him. He's from Kentucky.
He is.
It's the first ever PGA Tour event he's played in his home state.
He is from Louisville. I'm surprised he wasn't here 10 years ago. I guess he would have been pretty young. We have Patrick Reed, Sam Burns, Padraig Harrington. So just give me your favorite pairing. What do you think is going to be the most electric?
The most electric pairing, it's got to be Harmon, Clark, and Scheffler.
Yeah.
That's by far the most star-studded and most fun to watch. Now, like talking about like a random, like Minwoo Lee, Chris Kirk, and Billy Horschel. What a random group of dudes that is.
Yeah, I mean, I also think Akshay Bhatia, Tommy Fleetwood, Bryson DeChambeau is going to be a fun group to watch. That's three dudes that can strike the ball. I wonder what Bryson's got up his sleeve this week if he introduced something new to the USGA like 10 days ago and is putting it in his bag.
Yeah. We'll find out what's in his bag as of...
There is quite a few dudes in this field, though, that you're just like, who are you? Like, and some of them are, PGA guys. Some of them are like, there's just some pairings that'll be very forgettable. Like Rich Beam, who did win the PGA back in the day, Sebastian Soderberg, and Kazuma Kobori. Pretty irrelevant group, if we're being real honest.
At least they only got to play 2 days.
And I also did notice there's a few guys that I'm not sure exactly how they qualified, but a few of the dudes from Live that are playing in this: Adrian Meronk, Lucas Herbert, the one-eared wonder, the crazy ears,
Taylor Gooch, obviously.
Taylor Gooch got the invite.
Well, this is the only major. PGA Championship's the only major with no amateurs in the field and no way of open qualifying.
That's fire. Okay, so you kind of either you get the invite or you don't. And then I thought I saw one other, another guy or two. I mean, Dustin Johnson's in the field. Rory, Dustin, Justin Rose. It's a good pairing. We're just naming dudes at this point.
Yeah, we're just guys naming dudes. Let's get to our picks.
Okay. Yes, right, I feel strongly about these. I'm actually...
Here they are, our 2024 PGA Championship picks. I am 1-2 in my wins at the last 2 PGA Championships, so 50% hit rate. Gonna make it 60.
1 of 2? You mean so 1-1?
Yeah, 1-1. 1 of 2.
Okay.
All right. Brooks Koepka plus 2,000. This is 2,200. I'm sorry. This is boosted on the Bet365 app, so a little different. It's notated there, but this is a 3 places, so first, second, or third each way bet boosted to plus 2,200. Had to have a live guy in there, had to have the defending champion in there. And this was my guy. I rode with him at the Masters. I think I'm going to bet him every major. I think it's just one of those things where
he's an auto bet at the majors.
I'm going to make sure he's on the card. Colin Morikawa, plus 2,000 each way, 1 through 12. Thumbs down from Mitchell there. Just a great long iron player. Won a PGA Championship. Seems like a bit of a non-live as big game hunter of a non-live player. He doesn't care for any other PGA Tour events, it seems like, or never competes.
I think he cares. He just hasn't played well.
Okay, well, he's won an Open Championship. He's won a PGA. I just think he's one of the guys this week, especially with the long iron game as good as it is and his ball striking. He's kind of my perfect fit. And then Sepp Straka, a little bit of an off-the-wall pick here. He's plus 5,000.
He is a great ball striker.
Great ball striker, outstanding putter. And he's finished in the top 20 in 3 of his past 4 major starts.
Wow.
So he's kind of low key.
That's sneaky.
And he's the Zoysia grass thing, just too much of a connection. He has a record on this particular grass, and it is solid. So
okay.
I'm going Sepp Straka this week, plus 5,000 each way, 1 through 12. And then last minute, I told myself I was going to do this last week. I almost forgot. Bonus pick for y'all this week, coming from me. So all the credit.
Y'all.
All the credit if I win, all Mitchell's pick if it loses. Akshay Bhatia's plus 7,000. That's each way 1 through 12. He won
the U.S. Junior?
The U.S. Junior at this golf course. We saw Matt Fitzpatrick won the U.S. Amateur at the Brookline.
The country club.
The country club at Brookline. And then went on to win the U.S. Open. I would never forgive myself if I saw that Akshay Bhatia news of him winning here. I saw a video of him. Same goofy Ethan Mosier like pump fake from him when he won.
You think his shoulder's okay?
Well, no, I think so. Yeah, I think he's fine. Popped out, just popped right back in. But I can't not be on Akshay Bhatia, especially plus 7,000. He's won 2 tour events in the last 2 years. Just a sneaky pick. I mean, he's not like overly good at anything.
No, but those odds, I mean,
but plus 7,000 on a guy that's won at this golf course.
Yeah.
And won recently. Give it to me.
Give it to me. So I have Ludwig Aberg. Spencer scared me about the knee, but the dude is just consistently one of the best ball strikers on tour in the last 2 years. Iron's phenomenal, driver phenomenal. If he can kind of get the putter going, I think he's got as good a shot as anybody. He obviously was knocking on the door at Augusta, didn't get it done, but that was kind of his first major championship, being in contention down the stretch. So now I think he has the experience, he can do it. Bryson DeChambeau, I want to root for the guy because it is fun to watch him play. And so that's partially why I put him on the card, but also because this place, like we talked about earlier, will benefit longer hitters. He is going to, have a lot of shorter clubs in the holes where a lot of other guys don't. And he has major experience, so can't knock him there. And then also Wyndham Clark. Wyndham is one of the longest dudes on tour still. Hits that big fade, loves to fade it. There is some dogleg lefts out there that give me a little bit of pause, but I think he can hit it high enough to take it over those trees and still get it out there with plenty of length. He's been putting it better. He's actually like having a low key, very good year this year on the PGA Tour. I feel like, we forget about what he did at Pebble because it was kind of an asterisk 54 hole tournament. But he's having a very, very good year this year, and he got his U.S. Open last year, so he's got the experience. And he was kind of down further on the odds. I mean, plus 2,800 for each way 1 through 12. I like that. So I went with the longer players. Spencer went with a mishmash of players. But I do like the vibe of our card this week. I got a good feeling. We're not big game hunters, so maybe we can pick a winner at the least important major.
Who is your biggest name player as we get out of here? Your biggest name player that you think has just a horrible week and doesn't make the cut and everybody is expecting him to play well?
I mean, I think Justin Thomas is going to put a lot of pressure on himself being in Louisville. It's a home game for him. He struggled. He wants to get back to that, major championship contention, and he might just press a little too hard. And they always say it's tougher too when your whole family's there. Imagine the amount of friends and family he's going to have out there watching him. So I feel like it could go one of two ways for him, but I feel like it could end up going poorly for him, just basically based on how poorly he's played as of recent.
I'm going to go with Victor Hovland. And
dude, he's sucked this year.
Yeah,
he's like
his recent form, until he proves me otherwise, I have no trust in him. He finished second at the PGA last year to Brooks. Him and Scotty were right there behind Brooks.
I had him at the Masters. He pissed down his leg.
Yeah, I think Victor Hovland's going to have a rough week.
Yeah, him switching instructors is just beyond me. Like, we watched that dude at the Tour Championship last year look as good as anybody in the world, look like a potential world beater, switches instructors. He's had a rough year this year. He hasn't played a lot, but it's kind of hard to get, your game in line when you don't play a lot of golf. So, yeah, I could definitely see him missing the cut as well. And now that we said that, he'll probably be in contention.
Yeah.
The reverse mush.
We wrote him off, and now he'll dominate.
I really think Justin Thomas is going to suck, though.
Well, that's not a hot take. Both the guys we took are like puking all over themselves recently on the golf course.
Maybe we'll get those right.
Yeah.
We can't pick a winner. We can pick a loser.
Yeah. We'll pick to miss the cut. All right, everybody, enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the PGA Championship. Once again, we'll be back with you Sunday live, probably about 3-ish to 3.5 hours after the leaders tee off. So once we see those Sunday tee times, we'll get it out there on the social medias. But make sure you're joining us for the YouTube Sunday afternoon. Enjoy the PGA Championship. Valhalla is a great venue. Should be a great course. We get to see all the live guys back and competing. Masters, they didn't have the best of showings like last year. So we'll see where that fits in at Valhalla Country Club. See if Brooks can go back-to-back or if Rory can rekindle some of the magic from being the champion here in 2014 and newly single. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you guys on Sunday.
Peace.